hear shouting up ahead.
We should check it out, but be careful.
Open the bloody gate!
Nobody gets in! Zevlor's orders!
That pack of goblins will be on us any second!
What's going on?
Goblins are on our tail! Open the gate, Zevlor, now!
You let goblins here? Where is the druid?
Please! There's no time!
By the 9 hells! Open the gate! Damnable roach! Provoke the blade! And suffer its sting.
Children! Look who's here. The Blade of Frontiers. What a thrill for the children.
They're tough kids. Smart, too. The future's in good hands. Go on. Give me a best shot. Not bad. Again.
I can't do it. I'm not like you.
Umi, I don't need you to be like me. You just have to buy enough time to run. Come on. I believe in you. You can do this.
It's good advice, child. You do well to listen.
You're on the right path, Umi. Go on now. Practice what you've learned. Well met. The Blade of Frontiers at your...
The man's smile bends downward, and his thoughts become yours. You are the Blade of Frontiers, racing through the wastes of Avernus. Just ahead, a diabolical figure, red skin, single curled horn, blazes with flame, bloodied great axe held high.
Hell's great fires. You were on the ship.
Yes, and we both carry parasites.
Doomed to shed our skin and become a lithid, or so the stories go. But we haven't sprouted any tentacles. Not yet, anyway. Could just be good luck. I'm not so...
Your minds collide once more. Wyll chases the fiend ignited with rancor. She is an infernal war devil. A threat to the living. Evil incarnate.
Shit! You saw her. Advocatus Diaboli.
Advocatus Diaboli. A devil's advocate. A champion in the blood war between diabolical forces and demons. A devil's advocate? Do you think she'll bring the blood war to Faerun?
That ship sailed the Styx already. All I can hope for is to limit the damage. Her name is Karlach, an archdevil soldier I swore on my good eye to kill. I tracked her through the hells to the Mind Flayer ship, but the damned Illithids infected me before I could end her. She's out there now, preying on the innocent. I don't kill her, she'll leave behind nothing but a trail of corpses.
Let's join forces. I'll help you cast this devil back into the hells.
I like your thinking. Besides, I watched you fight at the gate. I could use an ally like you. Ready when you are.
The famous Blade of Frontiers in the flesh. Clever, this hero act you've got going.
Hero, Blade. Name strangers gave me. My friends call me Wyll.
Excellent. If we ever become friends, I'll know what to call you.
A tingle runs through your head and down to your feet.
Ah, there it is. That shiver. Our little brainworms have made fast friends, it would seem. How do you feel?
Nervous. I don't like the idea of that thing in my brain.
It's natural to suffer a touch of worry, but an illithid worm should be causing more than mild anxiety. Before the illithid's unscheduled surgery, I'd felled hundreds of beasts and a fair few fiends. The tadpoles weakened me, suppressed greater talents, but beyond that, I've showed no signs of turning. No nausea, no pain, not even a hot flash.
It makes no sense, I know. Why haven't we turned?
Perhaps the worm's vat was poisoned. Perhaps we're uncommonly fit. Or perhaps the tadpoles are merely on holiday. We could conjecture all night. I suppose the why doesn't matter so much as the what next. And that answer is plain as the horns on a war devil's head. We get these things out. Let's get some rest. Dawn comes sooner than we think. The goblins still infest the roads. As long as their leaders live, Zevlor's people are trapped.
So tell me, Wyll, how did you come to be the Blade of Frontiers?
My father once said, one does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call. So it was for me. I was hunting near the Cloakwood when I heard it. A child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse bled into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after.
What act could be finer than saving a life? You must have felt proud.
Proud? No. Angry. Angry at the monsters preying on innocents. Angry at the so-called good gods for tolerating the cruelty of the evil. Angry at myself that it took so long for me to see the coast suffering. The frontiers demanded a blade. And so I heeded.
And before that?
Baldur's Gate, born and raised. The only son of a single father. He wanted one life for me. I chose another. We haven't spoken since I left the city. A classic drama. A staunch father and his rebellious son. Better heard from the bard's lips than mine.
So how does the Blade of Frontiers end up chasing a devil in the Hells?
Karlach's fires raged in Baldur's Gate before she escaped to Avernus, as my source told it. And she was planning to return. One of the archdevils Zariel's own. Chaos incarnate, a devil with pure fire for a heart. I made my way to Avernus to stop her. She fled from my reach, even climbed aboard the Mind Flayer ship as it screeched through the hells. I followed in close pursuit. I can't bear to imagine the lives Karlach might be taking, the damage she might be doing.
It's not exactly easy to journey to the Hells from the Sword Coast. How did you manage it?
A powerful friend with a keen interest in privacy. I'm sworn to say no more.
Oh, all right. Let's move on to other matters then.
All right. Anything more we should discuss?
Well, forgive me if it's not something you like to talk about, but I've noticed your stone eye. Did you lose it in battle?
A most vicious one, in fact. It's made from pure bloodstone, carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. A reminder that sometimes blood must be shed and sacrifices must be made. But that story is reserved for lifetime friends and calmer days.
I did pray too much, didn't I? We can change the subject.
By all means.
I just wanted to know more about your past, because I've got no memory of mine. Could the parasite have done that?
Seems unusual to me. Then again, we're talking about tadpoles inserted into our brains by rubber-skinned tentacle monsters. There's nothing usual about it. All the more reason to stick close. I think you'll agree.
Yes, I do.
I'm so glad I found... Wait, it's me! It's Alfira, from the Grove.
Alfira, what are you doing here?
I'm sorry for barging in like this, but I had to come find you. You've... well, inspired me. I want to stand on my own 2 feet, to prove that I can be half the bard Lihala was. I want to join you, to fight by your side. I want to help people, as you've helped me.
Are you sure? I lead a dangerous life.
I've been running since El Turel. And when we finally arrived at the Grove, we found danger there too. Unless I hide away from the world, I can't avoid it. So I'd rather face it head on. With you.
Then all right, you may join me. I'd love to have you.
Really? Just like that? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Ease your worries. Warm your hands. We owe you that much.
I won't let you down. I promise.
You open your eyes with a lurch, and you are not in your bed. You stand above a body which is in a state of gore nearly beyond recognition. The body of that brave girl who earnestly swore to devote her life to your cause. Her blood covers you, and its warmth feels like the embrace of an old friend. No matter how it appears, the body is there, and her blood is on your hands. The question flows through your mind. Who are you, really, that you could be guilty of such bitter business? You don't have much time for reflection now. You need to act. You may only have a few moments before the others awaken and begin to cast blame for the hot sin before you. Your misdeed is bright and clear as the dawning day.
By the gods themselves, what kind of nightmare is this? You're the one who cried out for us. You must have seen something.
And you're unclean. Why?
I'm going to say something I'm confident we're all thinking. Was this your doing?
I don't know what happened. I woke up and she was dead.
I'm going to make the obvious point that you are covered in blood, friend. Point the finger where you will, but you're the one we've caught red-handed. This is not beyond the remit of what the parasite might command.
The worm in your head has never slept more peacefully. You know in your heart it was something deeper, hungrier.
I don't know. It could have been the tadpole.
If the parasite is truly to blame, we must be more vigilant than ever and hope this affliction spreads no further. keeping my eye on you.
An uneasy feeling lingers in the air. As the Inquisition departs, you are left alone with a familiar headache. One more failed adventurer, gone to the mud now.
Alfira wouldn't have harmed a housefly. A gentle young soul slain in her prime.
I know. It's just, I've got this bloodthirst, an urge to destroy, maim, kill.
Anger. I understand. We've been preyed on by illithids, suffered insertion of a mind-bending worm. Bloodthirst is another matter. But perhaps not too big of one, if it's a devil or demon's flesh you're wanting to tear.
But it wasn't a devil. Maybe you should wait in camp for now.
Are you sure? The blade stands at the ready.
I'm surprised that you still want to travel together. But in truth, yes, I'd rather you stay with me.
An excellent choice, if I say so myself.
All right.
I hear shouting. Someone needs help.
Keep pushing! Duke Ravengard could be inside. On count of 3. 1, 2.
Ravengard? He's here.
Yes! Now make yourself useful! Push, damn it! Push!
Inside! Hurry! We don't have much time! No! Can you hear me?
Councillor Floric, are you all right?
Well, by the living gods, I couldn't have asked for a finer savior. Scorched throat. A few hairs singed off. Nothing a bit of time and fresh air can't cure. Gauntlet, a new duty calls. Drow have taken Grand Duke Wyll Ravengard westward, if my eyes and ears can be believed. Report to the Manip and send for reinforcements. We must find the Duke.
On your command, Councillor.
No, it can't be. You mean they've taken my...
Yes, Wyll. The Drow have your father.
Wyll, you are the son of nobility?
The circumstance of my birth is no matter of pride for neither me nor my father. But pride is no reason to refuse help to my own flesh and blood. How can we help?
Rescue Ravengard from his Drow captors. Baldur's Gate needs him now more than ever.
Trust us to see it through, Councillor.
Ravengard. Yes, I know that name. He is much beloved by the city, isn't he?
A champion indeed. He's the invisible force holding Baldur's Gate together. Without him, the city faces collapse. In fact, I fear that may have been the intention of those who abducted him.
On my oath, I will see Duke Ravengard rescued and his captors vanquished.
Thank you. When the Grand Duke returns to the city, he'll hail his only son, a hero. Go. You should pick up the Drow trail with ease. I will seek reinforcements and join you when I can. Remember, Wyll, courage is found in the battle against fear, not in the defeat of it.
So Father said. I won't soon forget.
Fist to work.
Shit. You can put distance between you and yesterday, but you'll never leave it fully behind. Father's words. Hard to argue with them. Floric spoke true. I'm a Grand Duke's son.
Then the choice is clear. We should rescue Duke Ravengard.
Thank you. That means a lot. But I wonder, what makes a Duke of Baldur's Gate so interesting to the Drow? Even the houses of Menzoberranzan would have little use for my father. No, this is no Drow plot. These absolute nutters, these true souls are behind his abduction. His absence alone will sow chaos in the city. If they were to infect him, he could lead Baldur's Gate to ruin. All the more reason to find him. The Absolute has seized not just my father, but the future of the Sword Coast.
You know, I thought you were growing to trust me. I wish you wouldn't keep secrets like this from me, Wyll.
I know, and you're right. When I look into a mirror, I see two faces. I see the Blade of Frontiers, a man hunting the fiends who prey on the weak and claw at the coast. And I see Wyll Ravengard, a memory of a memory. A man who belongs to the past. I wanted you to know the Blade, not the shadow he left behind.
I understand. Let me ask you something else.
I'm all for it.
What was it like being the son of a Grand Duke?
Not so enchanting as you'd think. The Portiers, the Caldwells, they were the blue bloods hosting the fancy balls and drinking from gold goblets. Father's the son of a blacksmith, born with barely a coin in the coffers. He made a name for himself among the Flaming Fist. Brave as Balduran, stubborn as a deep Rothay. Daring, outspoken, but hardly posh. I spent more time dueling with Father than I did rubbing elbows with lords. Not to say I didn't develop a taste for good wine and the talent for courtly dance.
Courtly dance? I'd love to see a demonstration.
It's been a badger's age since I've twinkled my toes. A drunk ogre could put on a better show.
Come on. For me?
Tempting. Give it some time. Develop a bond and maybe I'll show you a move or two. One horn, the stink of Avernus, advocatus diaboli.
Well, I'll be God's damned. The Blade of Frontiers. Thought I'd shaken you for good. That'll teach me to underestimate you. Touch me, and you'll regret it.
A great heat roars through you. Her heat, fiery as the hells. Then you're lost in visions of demonic armies as you tear through a landscape of fire and blood, the Blood War. You saw it from above as the Nautiloid passed through Avernus. This woman was on the front line.
What was that?
Evidence. Proof that you're a devil. A gladiator in the archdevil Zariel's army.
I can explain, but it's a whole situation. If you just hear me out...
Another vision. Karlach's blade raised, slicing through devils, Zariel's servants, as her eyes dart around, seeking escape. Her rage and desperation seep into you. She is a victim of the Blood War, not an agent of it.
She's trying to trick us. Don't believe her lies.
You saw the truth. I never wanted to serve Zariel. I was enlisted in her army against my will. Forced to fight, and fight I did. When I saw an opportunity to get away, I took it. Finally home. Or near it, anyway.
You served her. That's enough to damn you.
Stand down, Wyll. You saw what I saw.
Wyll catches his breath and his lips straighten. Sheer dread twists his face.
You don't know what you're saying. You're asking me to trust a devil.
Gods, you're stubborn. Karlach's not a devil, and you know it.
Listen to sense now. I don't want this to end badly for either of us. You know monsters, right? Better than anyone. Look into my eyes. Can't you see I'm not what you think?
Shit. You really are no devil, are you? I've been deceived.
Oh, thank the gods. Thought I was gonna have to take your head.
You would have died in the attempt. But there have been enough threats today.
Truce then, eh?
Aye. Truce.
I may not be a devil, but I can put the Blade's reputation to work.
Hellsfire. She's coming.
Wyll, you've been naughty. And you know what happens when you're naughty.
Gods damn it. Anyone but her.
Just who in the 9 hells are you?
Wyll, you absolute stinker. You kept me a secret? Time to let the Hellcat out of the bag. Call me Mizora. I'm Wyll's patron, the fount of his power. My pet's been unruly, and his leash needs a yank. We had a deal, Wyll. But Karlach's still breathing.
You told me! Devils only! She's a tiefling, not a monster!
How precious. The little pupster's found his bark.
Wyll burns in the fires of Avernus. The lightning storms of Dis strike his flesh. His soul passes through each layer of the hells, gaining their essence and their torment.
That's better.
What the hells have you done?
A promise broken, a price paid. You know the terms. Get used to the new form, pet. There's no going back. Some magic even I can't undo. Now, let's see how the frontiers fare without their precious blade. Karlach, keep an eye on him, would you? I'll be keeping mine on you. Oh, and Wyll, don't forget, our pact still stands. Ta-ta.
Gods damn her, straight back to the hells. Just look at me. I did what was right, and Mizora made me pay for it. I'd be hunting devils and demons, she said. Traitors and hypocrites, heartless evils of all sorts, but not Zariel's victims. Not innocent tieflings.
Warlock pacts tend to be unforgiving from what you know of them. Wyll was lucky he didn't face a more severe punishment.
The Blade of Frontiers has some explaining to do.
I'll say what I can, but it won't be enough. It's Mizora who grants me the power to conjure armor and cast eldritch blasts. Before I was infected, I could even call hell beasts and summon festering clouds. But I promise you, every thrust of my blade and every flame I sparked was for the good of the coast.
You should get out of this pact.
A possibility that's kept me awake countless nights. But I don't have a clue where to start, other than play her games and play by the rules. That's the only language devils listen to.
There must be some loophole in the contract that lets you out.
There could well be. She has the blighted thing. What I know of it is simply what has engraved itself upon my memory. My contract is very clear. I can bring Mizora no harm. She'll have to let me out of my pact willingly. The only way out is if I can out-bargain her. We're standing here with nothing but the clothes on our backs and the worms in our heads.
We can beat her if we put our worms together.
We can. I'm sure of it. How glad I am that you see me as more than my patron's pet. Well met.
So, are you all right? How does it feel to be a devil?
It's said that anyone who bathes in the river of blood emerges as one born anew. It's a lot like that, I imagine. I feel the weight of these horns on my head, curling upwards like a mammoth's tusks. I feel these ridges snaking down my neck, not to mention a few bumps and prongs in unmentionable places. But I haven't seen my reflection just yet. Be my mirror. What do you see?
Well, quite the handsome devil, if I do say so.
I can't tell if you're being silly or serious. I'll accept the flattery either way. I suppose I'll grow used to the new me, horns and all. The people will see a curiosity, maybe even a beast hungry for their souls. But I will slay their monsters, keep them safe, and one day they will see the Blade of Frontiers again.
How in the hells did you get involved with Mizora?
The one little question that put me out of house and home. I can't utter the terms or circumstances of the pact. I can tell you most all else, but the pact, I'm forbidden, unless Mizora permits it. But I'll say this. The moment I pacted myself to Mizora, I have not regretted for a heartbeat. It was my proudest deed. It was worth the sacrifice. All I can give you on that is my solemn word. Hells. I was hoping you wouldn't notice I was gone.
Are you all right?
No. I'm deeply proud of you. A touch less so of myself. In truth, I don't feel in a festive mood, and I didn't want to cast a grey cloud over the night. I'm a devil. I love the people from the Grove, but I unsettle them deep down, as I seem to unsettle everyone nowadays. You don't want a devil at your party. Horns this sharp will pop the balloons, you see, and the guests won't take kindly to scars quite so monstrous.
You don't unsettle me. You know that.
If only half the world had half the heart you do. But, off with you. This is your day. Have a dance. Enjoy the music.
But I want to dance with you.
In truth, I always enjoyed a bit of pomp. I once beat the Baldron record for the most sarabands danced in a single evening, much to the exhaustion of the good ladies and gentlemen of the gate. I had years of lessons, but in truth, it's all about your partner. You cut quite a fine figure. I can just imagine leading you with an entire ballroom watching. But who am I fooling? I can't go back to that life.
If not a dance, then maybe a kiss?
You drive a hard bargain. But just the one. Well, then. You've got a party to get back to. After all, tonight is about you. There will be another time for us. Have a laugh. Make some noise. I'll be my charming self before you know it.
Buzz of celebration quiets to a soothing hum as you approach your bunk. You've picked up a few pleasant memories on your journey amongst your struggles. Somewhere in the corner of your heart, you suspect he might be dreaming of you, too. Your stomach churns around and around. The bile within is unsettled. Each moment brings a new surge. Your companions sleep like blissful lumps of meat.
He is an insult to the name of devils, posing as a monster with that sickly good heart. You could do so much better, milady. Harming me will not aid him in the slightest. Nothing will at this point. Your clever mind is penning tragedy as we speak. Your repressed urge yearns to kill. And kill you will. Tonight, the moment you close your eyes, your favorite person will be brutalized.
But I love him. No, it cannot be.
We all kill what we love most. In time. He adores you so blindly. Like a pup. Don't you find it sickening?
He must live. I haven't yet told him how I truly feel about him.
Why not whisper it while you twist a knife? Or have a love confession be the final words between you? It is my duty to ensure you are making the right decisions, Master. There was much disappointment at your reluctance to kill the little moon maiden. You could kill this one deliberately. I'm sure it will be considered a great show of goodwill. The tithe could still be yours.
There is no chance in the hells I'm going to kill him.
I do not doubt you will act with a decorum befitting one of your rank. Good night, sweet lady.
Your companion rests blissfully, without a fear in the world. As your hand approaches his body, it wavers. It longs to close around his throat.
I love feeling you close. But are you sure? Gods, what's the matter? You look like you've seen a gravehound's ghost.
A wicked wretch came to me in the night and told me something horrible.
Hells. What wretch? What did it say?
As you tell your story, fatigue fills your body. Your head swims with the worst headache you've known.
I've been cursed. When I fall asleep, I will try to murder you.
You wouldn't. You couldn't. Could you? You should have told me sooner. We could have figured something out. This is what happened with Alfira, isn't it? By Waldran's helm, if only I'd known.
Suddenly you become drowsy. Your vision blurs and floods with yellow bile, and you faint in a dizzy blur. You are not yourself. All control is gone.
Hey. Hey, stay with me! Whatever fiend's got hold of you, it's made a battlefield of your mind.
Your hands are raw and bloody as every inkling of your urge yearns you to tear your bindings.
Rise up, meet its gaze, show it no fear and grant it no mercy. The fiend slain, as if I could ever have doubted you. Now rest. You've earned it.
The night passes sick and sweating, but bloodlessly. You once again inhabit your own mind.
Looks like you're back to your old self. Poor Alfira. If only she'd been so lucky. How are you feeling? Talk to me.
When I try to remember my past, I can almost convince myself that there was some good there. But now I don't know. I think I must have been someone horrible.
You are not the before. You are the now. You are the later. If your past is so diseased, let it wither and plant something new. Should this inner fiend seek battle again, I'll give it one. Let it taste the edge of the blade.
Wait, you're not mad? It's really all right?
It is. You are my greatest adventure. And what is an adventure without monsters to slay and toasts to be made after? You don't have to shoulder this burden alone. And next time you're in a killing mood, let me know. I'll point you in the right direction. I see the hunger in your eyes, and I see how it worries you. It worries me too. But you are stronger than the hunger. You can resist. You will resist. I'm sure of it.
Thank you, Wyll.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see you standing there. Lost in the steps, truth be told. I need them to be just right. I wouldn't want to fail my new partner.
Trust me, I don't think you could fail anyone if you tried.
I know a few people who might beg to differ, but the only one that matters is here with me now. May I have this dance?
Dance? But there's no music.
Our hearts can keep time.
Well, in that case, I'm ready. Let's dance.
Bravo! Bravo! No need to be modest. You were a delight to behold. Now, perhaps we might try a more intimate style. So much shadow around us. To think I almost missed the light. Well, it's getting late. We can't face the morrow if we don't bid farewell to the now. I've drunk wines from Daggerford to Cormyr, but I've never known a taste as rich as yours. Gods damn it! You almost make me forget myself. But I still keep faith in the old tales of love. The once upon a times and the happily ever afters. I'd like to do this the proper way. The way of the old romances sung by the bards. Till next time, good night, and dream sweetly. By Balduran's helm, I wish we could have danced forever. Since we don't have forever, I wager the memory will have to do.
An unforgettable evening. I'll always cherish it.
Me too. And once we've cured these infections of ours, I hope we'll share more nights just like it.
So, can we talk about us?
My favorite subject.
What am I to you?
Ah. How to answer a question with so many layers as that? You are the red of the sunrise, the yellow of high noon, and the orange of sundown. If you were a song, I'd never stop singing. If you were a psalm, I'd never stop praying. You make a damn fun dance partner, too.
In that case, may I kiss you?
As if you needed to ask.
The Edict of Bane.
The Lash of Ball!
Testament of Merkel!
An elder brain. One of the cruelest and most powerful creatures in existence. Enslaved by mere mortals.
There we are. It wouldn't do to fight in front of our guest. Behold, Duke Ravengard. The Absolute.
Whom preserve us?
You wag your word flap in vain, Alderling. Once the worm holds the whip, your shredded flesh will serve us.
Shit, no! Father!
Gods be damned. With that parasite in his brain, Father could wreak untold havoc in the Absolute's name. Should Baldur's Gate fall to the Absolute, every one of the coast cities will be ripe for the plucking. We're not just fighting for our cure. We're fighting for my father. We're fighting for the Gate. We're fighting for all of Faerun.
Yes, the Absolute's cult has Ravengard. Where will they take him?
Worm's Rock Fortress. All travelers to Baldur's Gate flow through it. It serves as headquarters for the Flaming Fist, and their commander, my father. The Absolute's army's on the march. Gods forbid a tadpole Grand Duke throw open the gates for them.
What do you know about Gortash and Orin?
Orin? I'd never heard tell of, but Gortash I know. Or know of, more precisely. A self-styled strategic advisor to Baldur's Gate's peers. A bit player with dreams of a leading role, the way Father told it. He had no use for Gortash, and even less for his advice. I don't remember much beyond that. But where these Chosen are concerned, I have a suspicion we're about to know more than we'd like.
Speaking of knowing more, Mizora said you can say what led to your pact and exile. And I'd like to know the whole truth. If you're willing to tell me, of course.
Yes, but first a question. If your home were under siege, what would you sacrifice to save it?
I'd give my life if it meant keeping the residents safe.
As would I. And more. I was 17. Father, older Ravengard, had just been named a Grand Duke and was called away to Elturel to help settle a dispute. That's when the cult of the dragon made its move.
The cult of the dragon, a fractured religion. Some believers hold that undead dragons will inherit the world. Others worship the dragon goddess Tiamat and intend to summon her to Faerun.
The cult of the dragon had infiltrated Baldur's Gate? To what end?
To conjure the Dragon Queen and lay waste to Baldur's Gate. A 10-day after Father left, I heard a whisper as I slept. Duskhawk Hill. The Queen of Chaos awakens. Go alone. I grabbed a rapier and set out. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, yet not a single star was shining. There they were, gathered at the foot of the hill.
Your head tingles. Wyll wants to show you what happened. In the looming shadow of the mount, 5 groups of 5 figures each encircle a lofty totem. Atop each totem, a dragon's head is carved, and a massive orb held in its mouth. The cultists chant, first softly, then crying to the starless sky. There is a crack of thunder, a gust of wind, and a dragon's white head appears in the storm. The first of Tiamat's 5 heads. As the maelstrom howls, Mizora's lips press to your ear. She will destroy Baldur's Gate. Grant me your soul, and I will give you the power to save it, she whispers.
She read the terms while 2 devils stood witness, and I said yes. 1 soul for 1 city.
A brave choice. And a frightening one.
I don't know that it was brave. I just know that it was right. The moment I agreed, I burned with the fires of Avernus and oozed the rot of Dis. The cultists choked on our poisons and burned from our flames. And when we were done, all that remained were 5 grayed orbs atop a pile of ash. My soul was bound, and my lips were sealed.
Is that how you lost your eye? In the battle with the cult of the dragon?
It is. The one scar I ever bore of it. Mizora replaced it with a sending stone. She uses it to track my location and speak from a distance. I could flee to the spine of the world, or the depths of the lower dark, and still never shake her.
But surely Mizora doesn't care about Baldur's Gate. Why would she want to save it?
She didn't. She came on order of her mistress, Zariel. Tiamat made a play for power. Zariel had other plans. That was the most Mizora's ever said. All that mattered was that she got her prize. Another pet added to her warlock menagerie.
And what about your father, the Grand Duke?
He returned to an unsuspecting city and a wayward son with a smirking devil at his side. I tried to tell him the truth, but my mouth couldn't form the words. I'd led him to the battlefield, but Mizora had swept it clean. I showed him my stone eye, but he only turned away. After, he said only one word. Go. So I did.
Well, I do want to know more about what happened, but let's return to the subject later. I don't want to bring up any more bad memories.
I understand.
You lot could have tossed me back.
The truth is finally dawning. Shadowheart can follow its light, or she can retreat back into dusk.
Actually, I've been thinking about you. You must have been furious at your father for throwing you out of the city.
No, never. He did the only thing he could. In his eyes, I invited a devil into our midst. I was a fool at best, a traitor at worst. And Grand Duke Ravengard suffers neither.
Do you miss your father?
More than you know. The better question is, did he ever miss me? If he did, he missed the Wyll Ravengard he once knew, not the hell-touched warlock he returned to.
Okay, I'd really like to kiss you now.
Incredible to be back. My home. My city.
We're nearing the city. Are you excited to return? Reluctant? A little of both?
Baldur's Gate is where I first raised a glass in toast at the tender age of 14, and got so tipsy from wine, I puked in Dillard Portier's bushes. It's where the flaming fist chased me after I'd stolen a peach from a cart in the Wide. I got a good chewing out over it too. It's where my father taught me to hold a rapier, to read books of lore, to know right from wrong. It's been 7 years since I left. It's no paradise, but it's home, and it's worth saving. And you? The city's yours too, after all. How's it feel to be back?
I'm not sure how long I was actually here. I don't remember it, but I am afraid of who might remember me.
No one knows better than I do the deep shadows haunting Baldur's Gate. But I also know you can find the light if you know where to look. And this I promise, you can always look to me. I'm here for you, always.
Maybe hold off on saying that until I tell you what I need to. I had a dream last night that explained what's wrong with me. I'm born of the Lord of Murder. I'm a ballspawn.
Hells. It explains so much. Listen to me. I knew another like you. Gorion's Ward. One of Baldur's Gate's great heroes. Baal's blood ran through their veins too. They burned away their own darkness with their own inner light. They chose courage. They chose honor. And so can you.
This city of stone and steel is an endless scream in nature's womb. I have felt no peace here. Your eyes, Stira. There is pain, endless and deep, but also devotion, blazing like the sun. You're in love, are you not?
I do love someone. Someone standing behind me for some reason, actually.
You are wise to admit it. When it comes to love, vulnerability is armor, truth a sword, and trust a shield. I pray you wield all three, Stira. Bring the one you love to me. I will look into your hearts and see if your love is eternal or doomed eternally.
This sounds fun, Wyll. Wanna try?
I'm more than game. Let's do it.
Close your eyes, little ones. Be still as stone to earth. And remember to breathe. Glorious. Your bond is sweeter than nature's dew. I see you, know you, but do you know one another? Wyll, the courageous heart tormented by the infernal. Listen, think. What on his darkest day would make him smile?
Memories of our first night getting to know each other.
Indeed. You were a source of light among shadows. Still are, for that matter.
Your bond beats in pleasure. It is an honor to behold. We cannot live this life without others. Others to guide us, to aspire to. Who does the blade most admire?
Baldurin, the great hero of Baldur's Gate.
Yes, a hero in all senses. A courageous explorer and a just spirit. Would that we all aspired to his greatness.
Our touch has been that of sunlight. But now we must look beyond. To the uncertain. To the future. Life is a difficult and tumultuous thing. With every smile, a tear often follows. What is Wyll's greatest regret?
Leaving behind his father and his city.
He gave me no choice. But it's true. I often wonder, what if I'd said the right words? Made the right promises? Maybe I'd have been with him on the journey from Elturel. Maybe there'd be no absolute. No infections. No... this. You know me. You understand me. And for that, I'm forever grateful.
I press my finger to your bond and find a shield. Impenetrable. It is beautiful. Your love is one few have. Cherish it. Go in peace, seedlings. And know that you made one whose heart was long quiet, beat with love anew. My. I can tell you are a special one from a single glance. You have but to ask, and we can grant you a moment of pleasure. Don't be shy. And is that your partner with you? What a gorgeous couple. Perhaps we could come to an agreement.
No. I want romance, not debauchery.
Oh, it was a bad idea to even come over here. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I promise. But I hope when the sun sets and the stars rise, your dreams always lead to me.
Sorore surge, testis esto pacti me. Come, sisters, be my testament. Notum sit in beator.
Notum sit in beator.
You've heard of such devils. Sisters of justice. Adjudicators of diabolical contracts and bargains.
Holy hells.
Just what are you up to?
I come to bargain. The hells demand witness.
Enough, Mizora. Where is my father? How do I save him?
How else? We bargain. Sisters.
Infernos contractus te vocamus. Infernos contractus te vocamus. Infernos contractus te vocamus.
Your contract, Wyll. Signed in blood, forged in fire, bound in bone, but not unbreakable.
What are you proposing?
A life for a life. No contract is ended without sacrifice. The cost must be paid. Wyll Ravengard, a choice is before you. Option 1. I show you the way to your father. I guarantee him no harm except that from you and your allies. And you pledge your soul to me and the archdevil Zariel in a pact eternal. Option 2. I break your pact and you are freed from your duty. Your father dies by his enemy's hand, and Baldur's Gate loses its greatest champion. Name your sacrifice.
You damned wretch. Father. Do it. Break the pact.
Fiat ita.
Fiat ita. Anima ad beator.
Didn't think you had it in you. Seems my boy's all grown up. And don't go fussing about your father. You made your choice. You knew the terms. You know what? I think I'll stick around. Not for the greater good, you understand. Just for the entertainment.
Gods. I spent 7 years choked by Mizora's leash. And I spent 7 years hoping to break free. I never knew freedom could taste so bittersweet.
thought you never regretted taking the pact.
I didn't. I don't. My sacrifice kept Baldur's Gate safe from Tiamat's rage. But that doesn't mean that the leash never chafed. That I was content to lap up whatever nonsense Mizora fed me. The leash has been broken and my father left for dead. Tomorrow I celebrate my gain. But today, I mourn my loss.
A moment passes. In the stillness, you find a mote of tranquility.
The Ravengard name now lives solely with me. I will make it count for something.
But your father's not dead yet, Wyll. Maybe there's a way to save him.
I signed his life away before the Hell's Witnesses. It would be easier to drink the Styx down to the last drop than to alter his fate. I'd be a fool to wish otherwise.
I'm so sorry. But you do deserve to walk your own path. And no matter what, I'm here to walk it with you.
Still alive. Hold on, I'm coming for you.
That voice. I know. That voice.
Wyll, my pet, I was hoping you'd bound along. A bargain's a bargain, and I've come to see it through. Mia Furia. Kneel for me.
What are you doing?
Exactly what you asked for. Now, stand back and enjoy the show.
Just a little more to go. Come on!
Duke Ravengard approaches you, looking confused.
Father?
Wyll. Gods, it pains me to look at you. By Baldrin's graces, why have the Hells ordained you to save me?
Your tadpole resonates with Ravengard's. The exhausted Grand Duke is a flurry of emotion.
Have a heart. Your son is a hero. We saved lives here today, including your own.
By every last Hell son, my head!
Ravengard's head still aches so powerfully the pain seeps into you. The Absolute may be silenced, but the Duke's parasite still remains.
I know you have questions. Please, go to our camp. You'll be safe there. We'll talk soon enough.
Ravengard answers with silence, He and Wyll have much to discuss.
Gods, we made it! We actually made it!
First you cleave my heart in twain, now you shatter it to pieces. My son, a monster. Twisted beyond recognition. To think my blood flows through those veins. Is this my fate? To be freed from Gortash's hell, only to be trapped in yours?
It isn't what you think. It never was.
You turned your back on me, on your city, to chase the she-devil and her power. She stinks up the place even now. It is exactly what I think.
Wyll's devoted his life to protecting the coast. He's used his power wisely.
There is no wise use of the Hell's powers.
Father, please. There's something I must show you.
Ravengard's tadpole clenches as your memories and Wyll's flow into him.
My tears wounds. I'm in your mind.
The Grand Duke sees Mizora and her infernal sisters. He sees the agony in Wyll's face as an impossible choice is set before him.
No. My son.
The past becomes present, and Wyll's thoughts are laid bare. Ravengard sees Wyll partnering with Mizora to defeat Tiamat's cultists before they could lay siege to Baldur's Gate, and he sees everything beyond. The Nautiloid journey, the perilous path to Moonrise, the astral prism, and the Emperor within.
Well,
everything I did for Baldur's Gate. I did for you.
It's the truth, Ravengard. Wyll has always been a faithful defender of Baldur's Gate.
My son. You sold your soul to save Baldur's Gate, and I cast you out for it. You gave yourself to the Hell's eternal fires so I might walk free. By the gods. Can you ever forgive me?
There's nothing to forgive. You wanted to protect the city. I only ever wanted the same.
You are a better man than most, and a better son than I deserve. I'll yet make amends, but my duty is first and foremost to the city and its people. There's something I must ask of you.
Go on.
Before I was captured, I was on a mission. Returning from Elturel, I discovered the plans of the Absolutists. I immediately realized the city couldn't defend itself against such an army. I didn't despair, because the city has a secret guardian, a worm that sleeps beneath. He can be called upon in times of great need. This is such a time. You've been trained in the ways of the great champions and proven to be one of them. The worm will answer your call. You must seek him out.
Do you mean Ansur? The worm is dead, Father. Where we might have once found a friend, we found only his bones, animated by an old grievance. But the heart of the gate still lives. In me, in my allies. In Ansur's defeat, I found my spirit renewed. Once I've vanquished the Absolute, I will walk in your footsteps and lead the city as a Grand Duke. I am Wyll Ravengard, son of Ulder.
My son. Together there is no army we cannot conquer, and no wrong we cannot right. Hail, Duke Wyll Ravengard!
Husk, maggot, a ball spawn, slip sliding in filth with these pigs. You don't deserve the Murder Lord's blessing.
I don't want Baal's blessing. I will not fight you for it.
No! The Murder Lord demands one. Only one. It is me. It must be me. Come close, my death's heads, but keep your blades unblooded. Bar demands a jewel. He wants to taste my domination. An altar flowing with his own unwilling flesh. Draining, dying, drip, drip, drip.
You should have trained harder, Master. Master, you are the chosen one. He is near. He comes for you.
Impossible to stand against your father. But you have fought this long against your nature. There might just be a way.
I have no desire to harm anyone else.
You refuse me. You are my spawn. Your veins course with my unholy blood. Your life is mine. Accept your inheritance, or I will reclaim it.
I'd rather die.
You were made to conquer, to devour. You reject my blood, and so I will reclaim it. I will make another who is worthy.
For the first time in over a century, silence falls over the Baal temple. No chants, no screams, no prayers. In the end, your own death brought you more joy than any you wrought on this land. You are slipping into peaceful oblivion. But your journey is not over.
Thou hast defied Baal, thy liege, and father, and in doing so has earned a place among champions and heroes. But alas, thy courage was in opposition to the divine cosmology that bound thee to the Lord of Murder. I too still hold some power, and I invest a portion of it in thee, who hath challenged the gods and now liveth to tell of it. Thy fight is not over, and it is thy fight. For one who can look upon Baal and oppose him can survive any crisis. So rise, challenger of gods, and prepare for battle once more. Death will not claim thee whilst I endure. Baal tried to extinguish thee, but his wrath is imprecise. He only succeeded in killing the part of thee he knew. The urge that drove thee to terrible acts, the spark of brutality that made thee his. But there is a new part of you that hath grown during thy travels. That part Baal could not extinguish, and so, instead of destroying thee, he hath made thee anew.
Was there ever any doubt? You are a champion. You overcome.
The heart of a savior hath overshadowed the mind of a murderer. Thou hast vanquished thine urge.
You fought and you prevailed. Your future will be what you make of it.
Greet the bloodless dawn, child of none.
You have conquered your urge. You have taken back your own soul. I'm so proud of you. If I had a bottle of dragon dew, I'd open it in your honor. It's funny. As the Blade, I've faced untold brutes and beasts. Together, we've seen illithid horrors most souls could merely fathom. I lived at the mercy of fiends. A devil's plaything trying to right the coast's wrong. But I've only now come to see who my true enemy's been.
The Elder Brain?
Maybe, but I think the right answer is much simpler than that. Time. Time is so goddamned greedy. It can never give, only take. It builds mountains and deserts only to tear them asunder. It fells armies. It conquers kings, queens, even gods. We blink and we're gone. And our hopes, our memories, our heart bonds are gone with us. Lucky for us, I found a way to stop time. If just for a moment. Come, let me show you.
All right.
The Wilden Oak. Legend has it stood since the Age of Dawn. I used to come here and climb it when my father's eye was turned elsewhere. Daydream of the stories it might tell if I listened close enough. The Dragon Lords sparking the skies above it, the Moon Elves first plucking the strings of the weave. Standing here, I feel like I can see into forever.
A beautiful story. I'm glad you told it to me.
I was hoping you'd think so. I've been thinking a lot about forever. More so, I've been thinking about everything that comes before, and who I want at my side as it passes. My mother always said the Wilden Oak's acorns held just a touch of wishing magic. If that be so, then may my greatest wish come true tonight. I love you. Will you be mine today and tomorrow and reaching into eternity.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Gods, you've made me the happiest soul in all the realms.
Your skin flushes, and your soul sings as you palm the acorn, wishing magic, affection, love. Whatever the cause, it's as real as the ground beneath you.
Get down here already. It's time we started our happily ever after. I'm here for you, always.
Let's talk about us.
My favorite subject.
So what am I to you now?
A few moonrises back, I thought the answer was complicated, but it's quite simple, really. You are my yesterday, my today, and my tomorrow. And one day, I might even call you consort to Grand Duke Wyll Ravengard of Baldur's Gate. My pride, my joy. Death and devastation, blood and battle. So, our path is set, and we've no choice but to follow. If the fires must spread and the walls must tumble, at least we have each other to cling to. It's afraid. It knows we will fight it, and it knows we can win.
How about a kiss for good luck? Just being realistic here. This could be the end for us, Wyll.
Ah, that little voice in the back of our minds. All is lost, it cries out. And it's all too easy to believe it. There's only one good response to it. Shut the hell up. You are not just your fear and your doubts. You are your bravery and your valor. your skill and your strength. Let those voices drown out the others. They're the ones that will guide you to victory.
Hopes, nightmares, and the screams of legions upon legions of unborn Illithids. The pain rips through you, obliterating all thought, all feeling. Your tadpole burns in your brain. Silence. Free of urge and worm, your brain is battered and bruised, but it is yours. Yours at last. You slept like a babe straight through the night, dreamless, thoughtless, and almost entirely free. For the first time, you feel alone, calm. You breathe. Baal may have been your beginning, but he will not be your end. Of all those you killed in your father's name, one lingers in your mind even now. Alfira, the bard of the Emerald Grove. Her death weighs upon you still. A burden you will carry for the rest of your days. But fortunately, you will not have to carry it alone.
My shining star. Since I've known you, we've shed more blood than could ever fill the Cheon Thar. The wounds we sustained were the testament to our might. But last night, I swear to you, your touch healed every one of my bruises and wiped away every scar. I am a new man.
A moment passes. Will's eyes glance up to his horns.
And in more ways than one. When Mizora drained my warlock powers, it was as if a blizzard froze me through. Then you reignited my fires. When I'm at your side, I want for nothing. If only last night could have lasted forever. But if I'm to be a Grand Duke, I've got to greet the people and gain their trust. First, we mourn. We bow our heads for the fallen and honor them by pledging peace. Next, we heal the city. We restore our broken buildings stone by stone. We restore faith in each other, one good turn at a time. After that, well, it's up to us to decide. Any ideas?
Well, I was thinking about adoption. A new family, free of Baal's taint.
Ha! You've already thought about a little Ravengard running around, have you? I'd like that. So would Father, I bet. A nipper to bear his name, learn the pillars, courage, insight, strategy, justice. What a joy! This life we're about to make. This story we're about to write. Every chapter more thrilling than the last. I hope we never have to turn to the final page.
Only 6 months have passed since the defeat of the Absolute. But Baldur's Gate is already recovering. Wyll has personally handled the rebuilding of the city and the recovery of its people. The scars run deep, but Baldur's Gate will wear them proudly. The city was the battleground for a fight that decided the fate of Faerun, and you and Wyll were on the front line. Now matters of state take up much of Wyll's time, and he turns down more invitations to parties and balls than you ever thought possible. But one day, he comes to you with a sparkle in his eye, holding an invitation that neither of you could ever refuse. A gathering of the friends and allies who stood with you in that great battle. An invitation to return to where your adventures began.
Thou wert called here, some from above, some below. For with thine bond, together thou hast kept the wheel of fate spinning when it threatened to halt. Though thou wert drawn far apart in the months after the collapse of the Absolute, tonight, fate renews thy bond once more. Thou shouldst take care to preserve it. It is a great weapon, wielded in the hand of good. Go. Know one another once more.
My love, my heart. Breathe deep. Can you smell it?
You breathe in every scent the night breeze carries. Sweet honeysuckle, tender violets, and an earthly fragrance you immediately recognize. Oak wood.
I smell the clean night air and a faint whiff of ale. Perfect party ambiance.
Oh, how right you are, and how wonderful it is. We've had too little time for pleasures like these. A welcome reprieve from the faraway missions and the bargaining tables of the months past. You've been patient through it all. Your love is the fuel that drives me forward. I'm glad Father's left us to our own devices, more or less. No, he's got no shortage of advice when I ask for it. But we will make the decisions we see fit. The ones that'll restore the city to glory. I now serve only you and Baldur's Gate, not a devil of the first hell.
Health. I'm glad to have Mazora out of our lives.
That makes two of us. Though losing the hexes and eldritch blasts took getting used to. They left behind a cold abyss where fire once raged. So I stoked a new one. Now the burning comes from within me, not from the depths of Avernus.
How is your father holding up while we're gone? He's keeping the Flaming Fist in line, I gather.
Indeed he is, with nary a lashing or scolding, to my surprise. The likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few chosen words. No tadpole needed. Bane's Chosen primed the Fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them there was an assassin hiding in every shadow, that cruelty was the correct answer to crisis. With a few exceptions, Father's pardoned every last Fist. If my forgiveness not be Tyr's will, so be it. I shall forgive them all the same. His words, not mine. He still believes in the bow and the blade, but with Floric's help, he's teaching the Fist a new lesson. Valor is found not in the wounds you inflict, but in the lives that you have bettered. May they all take it to heart.
I never imagined you'd leave such a mark on the city, and so quickly.
All for the good, I like to think. Though I've met my fair share of challenges. The people know me as one of the champions who saved their beloved city. They know Ravengard blood flows through my veins. The patriarchs, the aristocracy, the councils of Waterdeep and Arm, their arms aren't so wide open. Still, there's no friction that can't be greased with a sly promise or a proposition.
The city's finally opened its gate to refugees, and it has you to thank.
The jewel of the coast will shine ever bright, welcoming the weak and the weary from wherever they hail. We are building new housing, not just shanties, but homes where families can rest their heads, plant gardens, pursue happiness. Amazing what can be done when Parliament and the Council pressure the upper city elites to open their coffers. I'm sure the Silver Shields can make do without a few more jeweled crowns.
You haven't mentioned the Council of Four since you disbanded it.
It is to be reborn. A bettered council befitting a bettered city. My father, Older Ravengard, is now Grand Duke of the Triad, Keeper of the Fist. Floric is now Grand Duke of the Crossing, the face of devotion. I am Wyll Ravengard, Grand Duke of the Worm, Heart of the Gate. And there's another I'd like to nominate. Grand Duke of the Coast, Doom of the Dead Three. Namely, I nominate you. Please say you'll accept.
I accept. I will join you on the council as a Grand Duke.
Then we've a reason to celebrate twice over. Hail, Grand Duke of the Coast, Doom of the Dead Three. The city's future looks brilliant indeed.
Would you like to know the only thing that I think could make this night even better?
Surely.
I wish we could have brought Lily. She'd be the life of the party.
Your soul warms thinking of Lily Aurora Ravengard, your adopted daughter. A treasure of a girl, found at the entrance of the Open Hand Temple. One grey eye, one brown. The crying gods faithful thought it a sign. They summoned Wyll the very next day.
Ah, the girl could melt the staunchest heart. She might have even brought a smile to old Wither's face. But tonight is for us, and Lily's only 4 months of age besides. I promise the temple will keep her in good care.
Good point.
A kiss as sweet as the first you ever gave me. Go on, my love. The night's young. You shouldn't waste a moment of it. Or waste a single drop of wine for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oops, did I say half a bottle? I meant half a dozen. Cheers to you. Cheers to Withers. Cheers to all of us.
This one night is like any other, and yet different. Thou art the savior of Baldur's Gate, until such time it requires saving again. How dost thou feel?
I'm proud. You gave me a new life, another chance, and I've done my best with it.
I am pleased to hear it. The satisfaction of one's intention is, to my surprise, a rare accomplishment. Enjoy the revelry of the day. Thou deservest at least that much. The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready, for thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving.
To the greatest friends I could dream of.
To you.